Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another She Myth Eliminator story. I'm actually super privileged today to have the amazing Fran Wilson with me. And yes, if you're kind of making the connection, Wilson and Wilson, you would be right, because Fran is actually my cousin. She is my husband's cousin, and as part of my family, because when you get to listen to Fran's story, you too will get to see how amazing she is and how inspiring she is. Everything that Fran does has absolutely inspired me because of the things that she's been able to do despite the stuff that's actually happened to her. So I'm going to hand over to Fran very, very shortly, get her to share with you a little bit of her journey. I've actually, because of the fact that Fran's story is so impactful, I've actually asked her we're going to cut this down to a really short sort of 15 to 20 minute segment. I'm going to tell you a few stories about Fran and how she's overcome some of the she myths. And then also I'm going to have her on the Take a Stand show a little bit further down the track, where she will tell you her full story. And believe me, you want to watch both of these, because when you start to listen to Fran, you will start to see that there is absolutely no excuse that we have in our life to not do something that you really want to do. Fran is just one of those women who doesn't let anything stop her or hold her back. So welcome to the show, Fran. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for being the inspiring woman that you always are.
Oh, thank you, Tracy, and thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So let's start by sort of telling everybody a little bit of your backstory. So where are you from? Where did you grow up? And what was your childhood like?
Okay, so I was born in Levin in New Zealand. So I was born 1966, 54, so which is great. I was born a little bit different with other people. Most people, when they're born, they look at their baby and they look at their fingers and actually count them. Unfortunately, well, it's not fortunately, it's good. I was born different. I've been born with 3 fingers on both toes and really different toes as well, fingers and toes, 3 fingers. There you go. So I was born different. It didn't really impact me with my life. I remember one time I was bullied at school. They were telling me, you've got fish fingers, things like that. And I was so devastated. I was being bullied. I went home with Mum and I said, Mum, what's happening? They're bullying on me. They're telling me I've got 3 fingers. And Mum was really quite interesting. She said, Mum, guess what? You have 3 fingers. I went, okay then, I have got 3 fingers. And that was the bully done and dusted. It did happen before, after that, but it didn't bother me at all. It's just like Mum said that I was unique. I had 3 fingers, and that was done and dusted, which was, it was quite pivotal that it didn't really impacted my life at all. I could do all the things that other people could do. So yeah, just being different is unique. It's special, and it's absolutely fine when you're actually born differently.
And like I said, Fran, you inspire me. So growing up, 3 sisters, and I'm just going to let everybody else know. So one of the other things that Fran, and like you're going to talk a lot about in the let's call it the big show, on the Take a Stand show, is also the fact that you have been impacted by, and hopefully I'm going to say this correctly, but bronchosphasia. And that has impacted like your central part of your brain, which is now impacting your speech, language, and the speech and language center of your brain. And so Fran has asked me to just, hey, Trace, can you just make sure that you keep me on track, because sometimes this does sort of rear its head, and sometimes I have a little bit of trouble trying to find the right words, but she does fantastic all the same. And I want you, that part of her story is like out of this world, and I want you guys to hear that, but I don't want to go there today, because I think the earlier parts of Fran's story are equally as impactful as the latter part. So I just wanted to let you guys know that that's the case, and I'm sure you'll join with me in telling her that she's doing a flaming fantastic job. Let's put it that way, a fantastic job. So Fran, you, growing up, 3 sisters, so there's 3 of you, right? So you and 2 other girls. So
yeah.
As you were growing up and being a little bit different to your sisters, not that you thought you were any different to them at all, Were there any particular times where, now that you've read the book and you understand what the she myths are, what situations in your life do you think you have faced where you've faced a she myth, but you have been able to overcome those?
I think for me, I started working in the corporate world when I turned 18. And at that point, I was working with 35 men. So 18-year-old working with 35 men. And that was really I actually loved it, actually. The boys are really quite respectful with me. Like if they did the F-bomb every now and again, they came up, they started laughing and then, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. But working with 35 men, you have the issue with maybe not ego, but men in that environment, they want to be heard as well. And at that point, I wanted to be heard as well. But it was really difficult at that point to be heard because men, they're kind of not overbearing, but they know to be heard, and I didn't. So I had to learn that because I remember one time I was doing a project and I was doing a lot of excellent work for it. And one of the guys at work, he was actually got the credit for it. And I just was really quite annoyed going, why would he get the credit for my work? And at that point, I didn't know how to manage that situation. I didn't know how to, I was a bit older then, but I didn't know how to manage that situation. At that point, I just left it for the moment. And I thought, you know what? My work will be heard at some point, and it did. At that point, I just actually listened to what was happening and decided I wouldn't say anything at that point. Later down the track, I spoke to the guy who took the credit for my work. I said, that's not okay. And he actually apologised, saying, I know that the work you've done was yours, which was fantastic. And I didn't really, I knew overall the whole project, I knew I'd get the credit, which was good, which did happen. I had a fantastic line manager, and I came through with a bonus instead of actually getting the credit with him. So he was, we did have a difficult with him, but at the end of the day, our relationship was restored, which was great. And then we were able to finish the project together. So
and what do you think would have happened had you not done that, had you not sort of addressed it? Because like you were saying earlier, that often as, being the only female in a workforce of 35 men, that had all been there for quite some time working on a project, and he took the credit for it, most would just sort of go, okay, well, I'll take the secondary role and just allow him to take the credit. But you didn't. You stood up and said, well, actually, that was a lot of, that was my work. I did all of that work. What do you think would have happened had you not done that? How would that have impacted your career?
I don't think it would have made a massive difference for the overall. I think it would have been fine. If I had addressed it at that point, I think my relationship with him would have been really hard, because the guy that was actually taking the credit for my work, I think he would have gone even nasty, and I didn't really want nasty. I just wanted a calm environment. So I think just waiting for the right time. Sometimes when you're working your stand-up, sometimes you've got to be mindfulness at that point and just waiting for the right time. And I think I actually waited for the right time for me. If it was somebody else in the group, in the project, maybe they would have addressed it a different way. But you can actually learn, do it in your time and your program. It's yours. So yeah, just be mindful that what you can and can't cope with, and just be aware that you're working with other people and they've got their flaws and things like that and strengths, and focus on the strength as well. So yeah.
Absolutely. You were also telling me a story, Fran, of when you were younger, and given your situation, being born with 3 fingers on each hand, most people would say, well, having only 3 fingers, you wouldn't be able to go into a typing class. Tell us about that story.
when I was in year 10, I decided I'd do like it was like a bookkeeping typing course. And who would believe, like, why would you do, like, I've got 3 fingers and you've got to have, like we all know the keyboard, you need 5 fingers to actually manage the keyboard. But it wasn't an issue for me. Like, at the end of the day, I was able to touch type. So when I'm typing, I can only use 3 fingers, not 6 of it with my hands and the so doing that didn't make a massive difference. So I did a typing course in year 11, and I was able to get runner-up ducks for the typing course for 3 fingers. So nothing is impossible. When you decide to do something, go for it, and you will succeed. Just go for it. If you want to do it, just do it. Just do it.
Absolutely, and you have done that throughout every single part of your life. Like I mean, I know for those of you who are watching right now, I know Fran and I know her family very well. Wilson and Wilson, yes, we are related. So I know that Fran's growing up in a family of all girls, very sporting, and none of that has ever fazed her. So she's just been able to just keep on keeping on. So one of the things that we were talking about a little bit before we jumped on here live, Fran, was that you'd read the book, and there were some passages inside of the book that had really resonated with you. Would you like to tell everybody which sort of parts of the book that you found to be inspiring to you?
One of the things I love the way that you did the mission when you're actually being an entrepreneur and starting your business. You have a mission, like what problem you need to solve, which is fantastic. Like, we all need to address that. The mission that you've done for your business has been fantastic. The other thing, you need to be a vision. Where are you going and who are you going to impact with? And I think that's really quite pivotal as well. And the values, like, who are you? And make sure that when you're getting your business, making sure your values are covered, which is really important, because that will override your business as well. And the motto, I like the motto as well, which is great. But another one that I really talking about mindfulness and mindset and things like that. But the one I really resonate with, listening skills. So we usually listen to people waiting to respond instead of actually really listening and hearing what they're saying. And I think we all do that at some point. If you're talking to me about something, you're trying to respond straight away without actually listening. And I really good skill as an entrepreneur or a CEO. It's really pivotal to listen to your business, listen to people in your business, your colleagues, your line manager, whatever, like really listening to what's happening. And when you do that, you can actually enhance your relationship with them, and obviously empowering and influencing your business. So listening skills is really pivotal as an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. And you took that shift from being, because you were in sort of the mining, the we call it the fuel industry for quite some time, weren't you? So what
Yes,
exactly? There's a specific name for that industry. What do you guys call it? Is the
oil and gas, you mean, or the
oil and
business?
gas? Thank you. That's what I was looking for. So oil and gas industry, which is obviously very a lot of men in that industry, and you were able to navigate that and get to some really. You had some very influential roles within that organisation for a long period of time, until such time as you sort of twigged on that, hey, actually, I want to follow my dreams. I want to do something a little bit different. And you made a shift from being an employee to being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, through I working oil and gas, and then I actually had redundancy a few years ago, and things needed to change. Apart from the story that we'll talk about later with Broca's aphasia, I decided I wanted to start writing about part of my story. So I was able to do that with Broca's aphasia, and I had to learn how to read and write. And I was able to just do a chapter of a book with 11 other authors, which is fantastic.
It was fantastic. Well, look, I'm going to ask you this, Fran. So if you were to give other women a piece of advice or a message that you would like to share, what message would you like to give to everybody else that's listening today?
One of the things I'd really like, part of the book was talking about you can stand up for yourself, which is things that is really important for me, like stand up. Like the story I mentioned earlier, I wasn't at that point. I just stand up in my way and my time. So like we all have amazing skills, and just be there and stand out and stand up.
Good on you, Fran. Well, look, I'm looking forward to having you back on the Take a Stand show, because I have been privileged to know you for quite some time, and I've seen you grow through the journey that you've had. I've seen the ups and downs, and I've also seen how you have been able to handle every single one of these challenges that you've been faced with, and be able to come out as a positive person on the other side, and then to be able to take that, put it into a book, and actually help other people navigate what you've been through is truly inspirational. So I want to thank you for that. And I'm looking forward to having you back on the Take a Stand show, so that we can actually explore that story further. And guys, I'm serious when I say to you, when you listen to what Fran actually went through and how she's come out the other side, you too will be just as inspired. So thank you very much, Fran Wilson, for being on the show today. For those of you who have not got yourself a copy of the She-Myth book, the place to go and get it is on Amazon.com and on Amazon.com.au. Sorry, Fran, go ahead.
Sorry?
Were you going to say something?
Oh, no.
No, but you head on over to both of those places. Oh, there you go. She said, go get the book. So get yourself a copy of the She-Myth book. Both of them are available on Amazon and Amazon.com for both the hardback copy, paperback, and a ebook copy, if you would wish to have an ebook. And very soon we'll have the audio version out shortly too, and we'll let you know when that's available. So thank you very much for watching today's show. I'll be back again tomorrow morning with another She-Myth Eliminator story. And all you women are doing just a fantastic job. Let's see if we can share our messages with many more women all over the world to also get them to stand up, stand firm, and stand out. See you guys. Bye.
Thank you.